Hi everyone, welcome to Bead Table Wednesday. I'm Heather Powers, I'm your host for today, and I'm a bead maker, jewelry designer, author, illustrator, teacher, all-around creative genius, or bead addict, you decide. Oh, I forgot to put on my microphone, that'll help. There we go. All right, if you're joining me today, stop in, say hello. I'd love to hear where you're from. I kind of feel like I'm like tilting or falling. My camera's not quite straight. I don't know. Hopefully it doesn't look that way. Okay, so let's get to today's business. Like I said, I'm Heather Powers from Humblebeads, and today I'm going to be talking about waxed linen, which we're going to be carrying on the website very soon. So if you guys are here, say hello. I'm not seeing comments yet, which always makes me a little nervous. Oh, here we go. Now they're popping up. Hi, Sherry and Kimberly and Joellen. Nice to have you guys here. I think there's a little bit of a lag today. So, oh yeah, now I'm seeing you guys. Donna, Mary, Lauren. Hi. Welcome, you guys. So, I'm going to do a little bit of a 101 kind of primer about wax linen, share my tips and tricks for it. And then I have a really quick little earring project to share with you guys. So hopefully you are up for all of this and ready to, I hope you learn a few little new tricks. So let's turn this around and talk about my little mess I got going on here. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm so glad you guys are here. So I just love wax linen. I love that it's such a great way to add color and texture to your designs, and it's fun and easy to work with. You know, you don't need any extra equipment for it. You don't need any fancy knotters or anything. You can be as fancy with your knotting or simple. I use really simple knots, just the basic little overhand knot like you're tying a shoe, or I use the lark's head knot. Those are really the only two knots that I use, but I know people use like macrame knots, and so I'm kind of reading your comments here too. So you can get as fancy or as simple with your knots as you want. Now there's there's several different sizes of wax linen, but the ones we're going to start carrying are 2-ply and 4-ply. And so here you can see the difference in the thickness of the thread. And the ply just means how many strands are in this. So you can see there's 2 strands. Ooh, what's on my finger? Still there. Oh, it's a little blister. Okay, 2 strands for the 2-ply, and then double 4 strands for the 4-ply. So the 4-ply is actually twice the size of the 2-ply. The 4-ply works really well if you're going to be knotting smaller beads, or if you're going to be knotting stones or pearls. So you can, if you need a smaller, thinner thread, 2-ply is the one to go with. And if you're going to do 2-ply with bracelets, you want to use multiple strands, but it can be used for bracelets. The most common ply and the one with the most colors and the ones that people use the most are the 4-ply, and this is really great for beads with slightly larger holes, especially check glass. That's what I love to use it with, is with check glass, but also with your art beads, with a variety of metal beads. So let me focus a little bit here. Okay, the type of wax that we're going to be carrying and the type that you want to look for is Irish wax linen. The Irish wax linen is a higher quality, so this is like the artist grade. A lot of it's actually used in the arts for not only jewelry but for bookbinding, and so it's very strong. The colors won't fade or bleed out over time, which is really nice if you're using it with jewelry. It's linen that's coated in wax. Really fancy there, right, guys? I did say it was a 101 class. So it does have a slight stickiness to it, and I read a little tip that if that bothers you, you can take a piece of brown paper bag and you know, like run it along the wax, and that will polish it a little. If you want to go through that step, I never do. I just use it as is. I like the texture of it. I like that the wax holds the knots very well. So I just use it as is. And it's great for knotting. It's a wonderful way to add texture and color to your jewelry. And so a lot of times I'll use the wax linen as an extra color on the jewelry itself. So here you can see I've used it in a darker color so that it pops. And let's go over some of my jewelry ideas from the past that I've used. So here's a bead soup bracelet, and I've just done simple knots for this, and this is actually an old Bead Table Wednesday project that you guys can find and watch, and it is great for bracelets. What you want to pay attention when you're using wax linen for bracelets is it's always better to use more than one strand. So I usually double up and use 2 strands when I'm knotting, and that's why you see the little beads that are the wax linen is on the outside of beads, so there's a strand going inside the bead and around the bead, and then they're knotted together, and that will add a lot of strength. And you can see that there's 4 strands on the button where I've run it through several times and tied several knots. So if you're going to do a bracelet, you want to make sure you tie several knots to it so that you don't so that it doesn't come unknotted, because that would be really, really tragic. Karen just said it's a bugger to unknot, and it is. So I suggest that some knotting, like a bead soup project where you don't have to pay attention, you can do it kind of mindlessly. But if you're following a project and a pattern, give it your whole attention and focus, because you really can't, you can unknot it, but it takes a Herculean feat. So you definitely don't want to have to unknot this stuff. So also, if you make a mistake, it's just kind of the thing where you just leave it and go on and just make the other side match up, or just pretend it didn't happen. Okay, you can also use the wax linen. On the other one, I tied the beads really tightly together. In this one, I've used the wax linen as actually more of a design element, and you can see the wax linen is showing more in between these little cube beads that I used, and it's a really great look. And the next one, this is where you'd want to use the thinner 2-ply. And so the thinner 2-ply is great if you're using seed beads or 2-hole beads, multi-hole beads. And so this is an example using the 2-hole, the 2-ply. I'm hearing all the woes about the knotting. Yeah, once it's on there, it's on there. Okay, here's another example where I've used it as a connection point for a pair of earrings, and also used it as kind of a fringe where I've unraveled the strands, and that gives you kind of a fringe look. So you can use it as not just little knots in between, but more of a design element where it's actually the pop of color on a design. And here you can see I've actually used it with sari silk to make a little tiny wrap around my sari silk to make the knot, so that my sari silk is secure for a sari silk tassel. And so the wax linen is used for a purpose, but also adds another element of color. You can also make a teeny tiny tassel out of wax linen and just let it be its own little star. And this one I tied little tiny silver seed beads to add a little bit of shimmer in them. So lots of different ways to use that wax linen. Now if you're going to use it with let's see how I want to say this. If you're going to use wax linen, you want to make sure that the beads that you're using have smooth holes. You don't want to use something that has a really sharp hole on it, like say like a crystal. And if you do, make sure it's in a necklace. And on a bracelet, you really want to be careful not to use sharp beads so that they're not wearing over time on the wax linen. The wax linen holds up really well. I haven't had any trouble with breakage, but I don't use any sharp beads with it. So all of my beads have smooth holes. If you do have a bead that has a sharper hole, say a ceramic bead or a metal bead, use little bead caps in between, and you could use spacers or bead caps. So you could use little tiny Hishi beads, and so here's some little glass O's or little Hishi bead, or you could use a metal bead cap too, and so that'll protect the ends of your waxed linen when you're using knots on like ceramic beads especially. And also you want to make sure that you don't use vintage metal beads that may have rust on the inside, because if you're running those through old rusty beads, the color will actually, from the rust, will get your wax linen dirty. Also, it's a good idea before you start, just wipe your hands down with a baby wipe, especially if you're wearing dark colors, so that you don't have a lot of lint on your hands. That's another thing. And then if your hands start to feel sticky, like say you're knotting a really long necklace and the wax is starting to stick on your hands, just wipe your hand with a baby wipe, and then you'll be fresh and clean and ready to go. One of the good things about the wax linen is that you don't need any needles for it. So what you would do is you'll just take your wax linen and twist it in the direction that it's going. So you can see it's like the plies are twisted together. So you'll twist it towards the ply, and that will give you a little sharper of a end to put through your beads. So you don't need to have any kind of needles with this. And I'm just going through my notes, making sure I got everything here for you. Yes. So I've gone over all the little things that I wanted to share with you guys. One other thing is that wax linen, it doesn't really stretch that much. When you have it knotted, the knots could stretch a little bit if they're not tight, but the linen itself doesn't have a whole lot of give. So when you're using it, you want to use it the length that you want. You don't have to worry about it stretching out over time as long as your knots are really tight together. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure that there's no room in between your knots. And here's some example where I have my knots very tight. And there's not really a trick to it, just making sure you pay attention when you're tying multiple strands. Any questions? Let me know in the comments, and I will definitely answer your questions about wax linen. Now, wax linen works best for knotted projects. I don't know if I would really recommend it for like a crocheted project or like Kimi-Humo, whatever, where you have to have the beads doing a lot of sliding up and down, a lot of friction on it, just because the wax will kind of build up on the holes of the beads if you're doing that. So you definitely want to stick to knotting with this and use other types of cord if you want to use for crochet, or that Kimi-Humo, I can't even say it. You should see my face while I'm trying to say it. Okay. So, Mary, that's a great question. Mary asks, is there a formula you use for measuring the lengths of your project? I am notorious for shortchanging myself. So if I'm going to do a project where it's knotted almost in between every bead, I double the length. So if I want a 30-inch necklace, I'm going to use 70 inches or 60 inches. So I double the length. So if I'm going to do a 30-inch, I use 60 inches so that I have twice the cord to work with in between. If it's something small like this, you just need like an inch or two extra, where if you're just doing 1 or 2 knots, you don't need a whole lot of extra. But in general, I double how much I'm going to use. Hopefully I said that clearly. And then, if I have extra at the end of a project, I just wrap it up and save them, because you can use them for little projects like this, or as little ties around beads. So you can save those little tiny scraps. So if you have extra on a project and you have to cut it off and it's like, say, 6 or 8 inches, it's all good. Just save it for another project. Use it on earrings or as little accents or to make little tassels. All right, I'm going to show you guys how to make this earring. And I've used 3 colors and knotted it around this bicone bead. And what I'm going to start with is, of course, it's buried under something. I have 20 gauge wire here. And I'm going to cut 6 inches of my 20 gauge wire. I'm using my round nose pliers, and I'm going to make a simple knot. Oh, you know what? I think this is 18 gauge, but I'm just going to go with it. I would use 20 gauge for this. And I just grabbed the wrong wire, but we're just going to go with it. I did a simple wrapped loop. In this antiqued wire, it's been darkened with liver of sulfur. So I like to use pure copper wire and darken it and then use it for my project. Just tucked in my little tail. And now, aren't these fabulous? These are bicones, and they have like a little texture on them. And I have them in a lot of great colors. So here's some of the colors that we have them on the website. Aren't those gorgeous? I just love them. And then I have this dark metallic, kind of bronzy one too. I was going to make myself a pair of earrings to wear today with that. So that one's cut. Yes, Sue, that was definitely really thick wire. It's 18 gauge. You can use 18 or 20. And since I messed up, we're going to use the... Ooh, maybe I'm going to have to... Darn it. Give me 1 second to grab the right wire. I've been working on reorganizing this studio, and everything is in arm's length, which I just absolutely love. And I know where everything is. It's fabulous. I can't tell you how much I love it. Okay, so let's go with a correct 20 gauge wire. And the reason I need to use the 20 gauge wire is because the check glass beads are too small to fit on the 18 gauge. All right, let's try this again. So, simple wrapped loop. Go around 2 times, end it in the back, pinch that closed. Okay, I have a 3x5 millimeter rondelle here. That's a faceted one in a pretty purple color, and a little hematite spacer. And now one of my disc beads, and I'm going to do the purple. So this is my orchid disc beads in the branch color that I use. And I'm going to grab an O bead, which is a glass bead, in this bronzy color. Ooh, one thing I forgot to grab. 1 second, guys. Okay, give me 1 second. I gotta grab another strand of beads because I forgot them. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I was prepared. And then I changed my mind on the colors because I got excited and wanted to make myself a pair of earrings to wear today. It's kind of sad, Heather. No. Okay. These are faceted bicones, and this is in a green color. And I love how fancy those are. Okay. Now you want your top knot to go left to right too. And so just making a simple wrapped loop, and I'm going to go around tightly 2 times. Then I'm going to finish this one off by going on top several times to make that messy wrap that I'm so famous for. Because I'm so messy. It's a sign of creativity, right? Okay. So you got your end of your wires in the back. You don't want those to be in the front. And I've cut about 8 inches, which is probably more than I need, but that's okay. And this is the 4-ply strands. I have all 3 of the strands together, and I'm going to loop them so this is looped in half, and I'm going to stick it through the bottom of my earring. And you want to make sure you're working so that this little loop is in the front of your earring. And I'm going to open this loop up, grab those strands, and pull them through. And then I'm going to tighten this up. Oh, did I do that backwards? I did. Ignore that. Okay, we're going to stick it going towards the back so that the little knot is in the front of our design. I want to make sure I open these correctly so they're not all twisted around. Okay, so I have them going towards the back. So this is the back of the earring, and the loop is going towards the back. And I'm going to stick my strands through the loop and then pull this tight, and then I have that nice little lark's knot in the front. Now, this little red one, this maroon color, is loose, and so I'm going to pull on the maroon ones until it tightens up. And I think all of them that are in the front need to be tightened up. So I'm just going to pull on the strands to get that knot nice and tight. Just like that. Now I want to separate the front and the back strands. Well, the strands to the front and the back, so that I have 3 that are going to go inside my bead and 3 that are going to go on the outside of the bead. So these are the 3 that are going to go inside my bead, and then these 3 are going to go on the top of the bead. Okay. You want to cut these all close together. And now this one takes a little patience. You want to get this nice and tight together to fit through this bead. And I kind of twisted it on there to have it go through a little easier. I'm going to grab it with my pliers and give it a little tug to help it get through. Kind of bunched up here, so I'm going to make sure I pull on each one of these separately to make sure it's nice and tight. Okay. I'm going to take the front 3 and kind of fan them out a little bit so that they look pretty on my knot. I mean, when I do the knot. I'm just pulling the thread down so that the knot shows. Okay. And now I'm going to take all of the threads together at the bottom here, wrap them around my finger, and pull them through the knot. I want to keep all of these together as much as I can so that my knot's nice and tight. And yes, Cindy Brooks, Dinah's exactly right. These are 11 millimeter for the bike cones. Okay, guys, that's the skinny on this, and then I'm just gonna cut this to the length that I want. And so I'm feeling like about 2 inches sounds good. And I'm gonna separate these a little. Now you could untwist them and have a very fringy fringe if you want. I'm going to leave them just like this. And then you'll grab your ear wire and put your ear wire on. My favorite ear wires are the brass ones from Vintage. They have no nickel. And so if you have sensitivity to metals, these may be the trick for you because they don't have any nickel in them, and they tend to cause less allergies than some of the other base metal ones. Okay, that's my earring. Super simple, super easy. Oh, thank you, Dina. I'm so glad. I've always wondered every time I say your name if I'm saying it wrong or right, and so now my mystery's been cleared up. Okay. Oh, you know what? I put it on backwards. Aren't you guys so glad I make mistakes so that you know that jewelry making is not a perfect process? And that you too can make fabulous jewelry and mistakes at the same time. Okay, there's my project. That looks better. And I love the way the color pops on there. This one's a little more subtle. This one's a little more in your face, but still not crazy. Fun. You could do these in Mardi Gras colors since Mardi Gras is coming up. So you could do purple and greens. Now, I just want to share with you guys a little. Since these are going to be on the website on Friday, and they'll be sold in 5-yard strands. 5-yard cards. And so some of these are the colors that I have. Dun dun dun! It's a whole rainbow. If you know me, I'm all about the rainbows. A little bit of wax on there. Extra. There we go. So these are the colors, and then I will have quite a few in the 2-ply too, but I don't have those here yet. They are on their way. All right. That's it. I hope you loved this cute, fun little project. I hope you learned a lot about wax linen. Maybe you picked up a few tricks or tips. I want to show you the last project that I have, which is here. So this is the project we're going to do on Saturday for the Great Bead Extravaganza. So if you hadn't have a chance to see it, here it is, and I will be showing you guys how to do this knotting project with super duos, which are 2-hole beads, and this will be with the 2-ply wax linen. And again, same simple knotting technique that we just used, but with a little fancier. And so if you guys haven't heard of the Great Bead Extravaganza, this is quite the bead party we got cooked up for you guys. So this is going to be February 5th through the 7th, and you just on Facebook, search for the Great Bead Extravaganza group and join the group. And that's where the party's going to be this weekend. And we have 16 or 17 presenters, I can't remember, from all different big bead companies, manufacturers, and artisans like me. And we'll be doing free projects for the whole week. There's a schedule in the group so you can see when you want to join us. Hopefully you'll join us for the whole time. This time we scheduled in breaks for you guys and for us, and so it's just going to be a fabulous bead party. We're all a lot of the people that are missing Tucson, this is kind of a filler for that, and so this is a Tucson themed bead party, so make sure you have a margarita. Okay, so what size are the new hearts that are in the kit, Heather? Let me show you. So this is the size of the hearts, with my hand as a reference, and then with a ruler they are about 1.5 inches long and 1.25 inches wide. So that answers that question. All right. Oh, I love that that's where you first met me, Cindy. Okay. All right, guys, I am going to get back to work here. So the kits that were pre-ordered, well, if you did the first batch of pre-orders, they'll ship out on Friday. If you did the second batch, they'll ship out on Wednesday. And then the ones that, my first batch of 40 that we did that weren't pre-orders, those have already been shipped out on Monday, and hopefully they will be at your house before the event. If not, you will be able to watch the video indefinitely here on my Facebook page, so you can come back anytime, as with all of these Bead Table Wednesday or the Bead Extravaganza videos, and watch them again. Cindy, those hearts are polymer clay. Thank you so much. All right, guys, we may put together another batch of the heart kits after the weekend, but I need to inventory all my beads and see if I have enough goodies to do more kits, or if we're all tired after making 120 kits and never want to make another one. We'll let you know. I have the whole Humblebeads team working on them, so thanks to my family for being such big help. All right, guys, so bead party on Saturday. Oh, I forgot to tell you, it's 10:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and there's a time converter in the group, and I think it's 1:30 Eastern Time, but I can't remember exactly, but I know for sure it's 10:30 Pacific Standard Time that I will be doing my presentation. And so that is it. Oh, thanks, Cindy, about the braids. My hair is always a crazy mess, so I like to keep it contained. All right, guys, I'll see you Saturday for our bead party. If you have any questions about waxed linen or need to know anything, leave a comment and I will be glad to answer that. And on Friday, we'll be having our big website update, and I will have kits for this project that I just did, along with all our waxed linen, which is new, which we're super excited to be offering to you guys. And I will be having lots of Humblebeads, so all sorts of fun stuff on Friday. And that will start at 3 p.m. on Friday, that will be updating the website. All right, guys, take care. Have a great week, and I will see you on Saturday. Bye.